Welcome to your doom. Shut it and get over here. Massive uppercut!
Hello and welcome to another edition of the JabJab Show. Today I'm reviewing the movie Wonder Woman. This is directed by Patty Jenkins. It stars Gal Gadot, Chris Pine, Danny Huston and Lucy Davis. The story is basically Diana Prince, before she's Wonder Woman, she's a young girl living on a remote island. She's like the princess of the Amazons. She's training to be like one of the big Amazonian women, like big warrior, like all the other women on the island. At some point when she's an adult, she gets in contact with Chris Pine's American pilot, and he tells her of this big conflict, which is World War One, what's happening on the other side, on the outside of the island. Wonder Woman gets a idea that there's someone else at play, something bigger than what he's telling her, and so she has to help. She feels she has to help him, into the midst of the World War One, and she kind of gets her true potential and true destiny and all the rest of it. I've not been the biggest fan of the DC cinematic universe so far. I mean, I quite like Man of Steel. It's not without its problems though, but Batman v Superman and Suicide Squad were a bit messy. I do prefer the extended cut of Batman v Superman. I've reviewed that on my channel. It's half an hour longer than the theatrical cut, but it seems a bit less disjointed. And also one of the highlights of that film for me was Wonder Woman in there. She's played really well by Gal Gadot. So when the announcement of the making a Wonder Woman film and so forth, and obviously Gal Gadot is returning, I thought, yeah, pretty good, and the trailer looked good, so I was all looking forward to it. So the film starts off with Diana Prince in modern day. She's looking back at her own childhood, and she's telling the story of when she was very young, like on this island. The film shifts and shows all this where she's on the island, she's training and so forth, and there's a voiceover explaining how the island came to be and how the people on the Amazons, their way of living and so forth, how that all happens. And then she's the montage is fighting and so forth, becomes like the Gal Gadot age, and Chris Pine comes on, he goes on she goes on to help him in the war and so forth. So she becomes she goes from a very female world to a very male world. I'm not sure if this is a comment, something I might have picked up on, of the majority of the superheroes that have happened thus far at the cinema have been male dominated. Obviously you got the Scarlet Witch and Black Widow. Whether it's a comment on she's going into a male-dominated world now, Wonder Woman. I don't know, but it's really fun. She goes in, and let's say it's set in World War One, so the attitudes towards women are very different from what they are now. It's kind of interesting. She's got a very different worldview and circumstances, compared to these men. It's all good fun to watch. In a lot of ways, when Wonder Woman is during the World War One, she's with the soldiers. It feels very much like parts of the first Thor film for me. Anyway, when Thor comes to Earth, he's very much a fish out of water. He's doing certain things that in struggling to get kind of in touch with the environment and see what's going on. And in this film, it's much the same way. He's not too much of it where it feels like it's a bit kind of more of a comedy or anything. Some of it's played for laughs, but it's not overly done kind of thing. Again, Gal Gadot for me is really good. She looks the part. She kicks ass really well, and yeah, she's a lot of fun to watch. There's a few nice role reversals as well between Wonder Woman and Chris Pine's character. They share a few, awkward conversations as well, which is really, really, really nicely played out, I find. This is definitely a step forward, step in the right direction for the DC universe. It bodes well for them with the Justice League coming out later on in the year as well. Well, I would say though, this film does feel a little bit long. It's about 2 hours 20 minutes long, and some of the scenes kind of go on for a little while. They could have maybe shortened them to up the pace a little bit, get cut to the chase, so to speak. And also Lucy Davis is in here. She's like Dawn from The Office, who I remember best for. She's a little bit too kooky. She plays a secretary. She's very upbeat and very kind of I don't know. She doesn't seem like a real character. I just wanted to dial it down a bit. I didn't really like her so much in this film. And I would say the end sequence as well, Wonder Woman's fighting this villain, it seemed to be a lot very theatrical, very over the top. It it's like from another film almost. Like there's a lot of CG happening and sort of things going about, and that the villain, he or she, doing their thing, and it just seems at odds with what the tone they were going for. I mean, this isn't a humorless film, you know. There's like, you know, like I say about the awkward conversations, there's a bit of levity here. But I'd say it's a little bit too at odds with what's going on. But I'm really not a fan of the whole speed up, slow down kind of like, you know, the editing technique that they use during the fight sequences. I mean, I get Zack Snyder uses it for most of his films, and maybe DC are going to employ this to kind of differentiate themselves a bit more from the Marvel output kind of thing. But it happens loads of times in this film and other films, and I'm kind of bored with it now, to be honest. That kind of thing, you know, it makes it more dramatic, but it kind of, the more times you use it, the less impact it has, kind of thing, you know. But that's just me, you know, each to their own and all that. So, but other than that, no, I found Wonder Woman a very solid film. You know, I'd give it 7 Wonder Things out of 10. Probably put it on par with Man of Steel, you know. But that's my opinions. What's yours? And yours and yours. Just let me know down below in the comment section. Also, how would you rank the DC movies so far? You know, with Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, Suicide Squad, and this film. How would you rank them best to worst and all the rest of it? So let me know all this down below in the comment section. I've got the YouTube and Twitter and Facebooks and all the modern stuff up there. You know, click like and subscribe if you like this kind of thing. So yeah, and tell your friends and everything. And in the words of the Cyrus, send the word.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3,